You ever notice how some people live with this constant awareness? Like everything they do, even the smallest thing, has a purpose behind it? I'm talking about brushing their teeth, eating breakfast, saying hello to someone, even tying their shoes. There's this energy, this intention, that everything connects back to something higher. I saw that with Muslims. It's wild, man. They've got this built-in consciousness that whatever they're doing it for something, not just for themselves. It's not performance, it's not ego, it's not social media validation. It's like every breath has weight. Every act, no matter how small, somehow links back to God. And you got to think about that for a second, what that actually does to your mind. Imagine living like that, where eating isn't just filling your stomach, but an act of gratitude. Speaking isn't just expressing your opinion, but an opportunity to speak truth. Helping someone isn't just being nice, it's a duty, a sacred one. That's such a different frequency from how we live here. In the West, we've built this entire system around the self. My career, my brand, my voice, my happiness, my truth. Everything's about polishing the me. It's exhausting, man. You scroll through social media and it's like a shrine to the self. Everyone's preaching like they're prophets of their own ego. And yet, everyone's miserable. Anxiety's through the roof. Depression's everywhere. People are spiritually starved. But we've got the newest iPhone, right? We've got podcasts, supplements, cold plunges, yoga retreats. We're chasing peace like it's a product. But the truth, peace isn't a product. It's a perspective. It's surrender. That's what he saw, what blew his mind. Muslims don't compartmentalize faith. It's not Sunday religion. It's lifestyle. You don't clock in and out of it. It's baked into how you live. They've got this word niyyah, meaning intention. Every act starts with it. Before they eat, before they sleep, before they even go to work, there's a conscious moment where they remind themselves, I'm doing this for Allah, not for likes, not for image, not for ego, for God. And that flips your whole mental structure, because now even your daily grind becomes sacred. Washing dishes, sacred. Driving to work, sacred. Talking to a stranger, sacred. When you live like that, you can't be lost, because everything you do is connected to a purpose beyond yourself. And here's the thing, man. When you start to really see that kind of awareness, it humbles you, because you realize how mechanical we've become in the West. We eat without thinking, talk without meaning, help only when it benefits us, and post everything for validation. Our whole system is built on dopamine hits. You take a bite of food, you scroll, you post, you check if someone liked it. It's this endless loop of chasing moments that don't mean anything. But when he saw Muslims pray before eating, or whisper Bismillah before lifting a spoon, it was like watching someone hit pause on the chaos and reconnect with gratitude. And that little moment, that whisper, it's not small, bro, it's massive. Because what it really says is, I didn't create this, I don't own this, I'm just a guest here. That's humility right there, and humility is the foundation of peace. You strip ego away, suddenly life feels lighter. And that's what blew his mind, the simplicity of it. You don't need an expensive meditation retreat. You don't need a self-help guru, you just need awareness. The kind that says, I exist because something greater allows me to exist. Now compare that to how we move in the Western mindset. We've built an entire religion out of me. It's like the church of self. Everything's about manifesting what you want, visualizing your dream life, curating your own universe. But nobody talks about surrender. Nobody says, hey, maybe it's not about me, because that kills the algorithm, right? It doesn't. T-cell. The truth never trends. But it's what people are starving for. And that's why when he talked about Islam, it wasn't about the rules or rituals, it was about rhythm. There's a rhythm in their daily life that keeps them grounded. You hear the call to prayer echoing through the streets and everything stops. Businesses pause, people line up shoulder to shoulder, rich, poor, black, white, all facing one direction, all reminding themselves, I'm not the center of the universe. That's power, man. Real power. He said it felt like an antidote to modern anxiety. Because think about it. The modern world tells you that you are everything. But deep down, you know you're not. You know you didn't design the stars. You didn't control your heartbeat last night while you slept. You're part of something bigger. And pretending you're not just makes you feel lost. That's the silent disease. This illusion of control. When he looked at that level of surrender, he realized it wasn't weakness. It was strength. It takes guts to say, I'm not in charge. It takes maturity to hand your ego over to something unseen. And that's what fascinated him. The idea that peace doesn't come from control, but from trust. And it's crazy because once you see that kind of surrender in action, you can't unsee it. You start noticing it everywhere. how a Muslim greets someone with peace, how they lower their gaze out of respect, how they begin every move, every task, every conversation with an intention that connects them back to something divine. And you realize that's the missing ingredient in our world. We've replaced reverence with arrogance. We've traded thank you for I deserve this. He once said that what shook him most wasn't the prayers or the mosques, it was the consistency. You could be in a desert, in a big city, or in some remote village, and 5 times a day, everything just stops. People pause their lives for something unseen, something eternal. That level of discipline doesn't come from fear. It comes from love and awareness. Imagine what that does to your psyche over a lifetime. You grow up knowing you're not the sun. You revolve around a higher light. Now look at us. We live in a culture that tells you to be your own God, manifest your destiny, do whatever makes you happy, follow your feelings, but feelings change every hour. They're unreliable. You chase them long enough, you start losing yourself. That's why so many people, even the richest, even the most successful, end up feeling empty because they've built castles on sand. They've been worshiping their own reflection without realizing it. He talked about how that's what drew him toward Islam's way of living, this alignment between what you believe and how you live. In the West, you can believe in God and still live like he doesn't exist. You separate faith from function. But in Islam, faith is function. It's in the details. It's in how you walk, how you treat your parents, how you spend your money, even how you rest. Everything's sacred because everything's connected. He admired how Muslims could look at something as simple as water, take a sip and say, Alhamdulillah, praise be to God. That simple act rewires your brain for gratitude. You stop seeing life as random. You start seeing it as intentional. Every blessing, every moment, every breath, it's all part of a design. And when you live like that, your mind gets quiet. You don't need to escape anymore. You're already home. And maybe that's why he kept bringing it up, because it made him reflect on his own life, his own fame, his own chaos. Imagine having everything, money, fame, fans, validation, and still realizing you've never thanked the one who gave it to you. That realization hits deep, man. It humbles you, because it makes you realize that success isn't a trophy, it's a test, and not everyone passes. And you could tell, man, that realization hit him at a soul level. Like, for the first time, he wasn't trying to be profound, he was just being honest. He said something like, "It's crazy how Muslims remember God in everything, and I can go days without even acknowledging where my blessings come from." That line stuck. Because think about that. Most people don't forget because they're bad, they forget because they're busy chasing something that never fills them. But when your life has reminders built in, prayer, gratitude, discipline, you can't drift too far. That's what keeps the heart steady. He said he started looking at how Muslims live, how they carry peace in their walk. Not fake peace, not performance peace, but the kind that comes from alignment. You don't have to shout it. It connects back to something divine. Islam doesn't separate life from spirituality, it fuses them. Every act becomes an act of remembrance, and that's what so many people in the West don't get. They think faith is about restriction, about rules and control, but when you really look at it, it's the opposite. It's structure that brings freedom. It's surrender that brings peace. It's gratitude that kills greed. You start realizing maybe the reason people are lost is because they've been chasing themselves instead of their creator. And when he saw that calm, that discipline, that peace that doesn't depend on the world, it shook him because it wasn't performance, it was truth. And in a world that's addicted to lies, truth feels revolutionary. You ever sit in silence, man, like real silence, no phone, no background noise, no distractions, and just think about why you're even here? It's wild how fast the world moves now. Everybody's talking about chasing purpose, finding energy, unlocking your higher self, but the more noise we make, the further we drift from what we're really searching for. There's something powerful about a faith that still teaches people how to slow down, how to breathe, how to remember. That's what hit me about Islam, man. It's not a religion that waits for Sunday. It's not about a label or belonging to a club. It's a way of living, like a full-time state of awareness where everything, from eating to sleeping, from helping someone to just taking a walk, becomes sacred. Imagine living like that, where nothing is random. Every breath, every moment is connected to the same source that created the galaxies. That's heavy, man. That's real alignment. And what's crazy is that it's not just about prayer or rules. It's about rhythm, the rhythm of remembering, the rhythm of gratitude. 5 times a day, all across the planet, millions of people stop everything to stand in front of their creator. No excuses, no ego, just surrender. That kind of unity, that kind of devotion, it's something the modern world can't replicate. Because while we're busy glorifying me, they're glorifying the one, and that contrast, it hits hard. We live in a culture that celebrates the self, where every action starts with I. I want, I feel, I deserve. But the moment you shift that and start saying, He allows, He provides, He guides, something changes in you. The noise quiets down. You realize peace isn't in control, it's in connection. It's in remembering who's really in charge. That's why when he talked about Islam, it wasn't about religion as people see it. It was about realization. He saw a way of life that doesn't separate the divine from the daily. A world where eating, speaking, working, even smiling at someone, all of it links back to God. That's not superstition, that's spirituality at its purest form. And when he looked at that, when he saw how Muslims lived it, the humility, the gratitude, the peace, it woke something up in him. Because deep down, every human being wants that kind of peace, the kind that doesn't depend on applause or approval, the kind that lives quietly inside your chest, the kind that doesn't fade when the lights go off. And that's what he saw. That's what he admired.